Buenas, buenas y sean bienvenidos al primer episodio de La Excusa, un podcast de entrevistas creado por su servidora, a quien les habla Verónica Albornoz, aunque no lo hubiera podido lograr sin la ayuda de mis maravillosos amigos Luis Tomás La Madrid en la asistencia de producción, Claudia Álvarez en el diseño gráfico, Juan Diego Carbajales en el diseño gráfico también y en la animación que ven, si la pueden ver desde YouTube o si la están viendo desde ahí, y la música que están escuchando de fondo y la música que también va a sonar con la presentación es de Mr.Shhh. Y bueno, también estoy muy agradecida con todos los invitados que han pasado por acá y me han querido donar un poco de su maravilloso tiempo para hablar de las cosas que a todos nos interesan alrededor del arte. Así que nada, el día de hoy les traemos una entrevista maravillosa con Ryan Kettner, o mejor conocido como Honus Honus, el cantante y compositor de la banda Man, quienes recientemente estrenaron un nuevo álbum llamado Dream Hunting in the Valley of the In-Between, una preciosidad de disco que mezcla perfectamente la incertidumbre y alegría que podría traer consigo todos estos cambios que se están dando en el mundo, ya que, y esto es citando a Honus, la música de Man son melodías para el apocalipsis, un buen rock pop experimental del fin de los tiempos, si se quiere. Además, este podcast me trae mucha felicidad haberlo logrado porque justamente me abrió a la posibilidad de crearlo y tener la excusa para seguir entrevistando más personas increíbles del mundo del arte. Así que me disculpo de antemano por los cortes abruptos que tal vez puedan escuchar porque, bueno, no tenemos un muy buen internet aquí en el estudio, pero tenemos mucho amor. Gracias, Tomás, por tu estudio. Así que, bueno, también me disculpo por lo atropellado y un poco nervioso de mi inglés, pero los objetivos fueron alcanzados, chicos, y creo que se van a divertir bastante y nutrirse bastante de todas las cosas que este compositor sumamente inteligente tiene para ofrecer. Así que nada, espero lo disfruten. So yeah, we will start. This is the first question thing. Skin tension and animal attraction. I don't know why, tension from Six Demons and animal attraction. I don't know why, but for me, I have the same vibe or essence. I don't know. But the question I want to ask you about that is, do you think that there's a subject that you always come back to as an artist? Like there's always something in your mind that you want to tell and you always put it in the songs somehow?
Yeah, I mean, I always like to write love songs or songs about the heart
Mm-hmm.
and songs about finding beauty in damaged people.
Okay. Okay, so it's not a thing about, looking for the truth of the perfect thing. It's just to find beauty whenever you can, you know, put your eyes on.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I really strive for when I write songs is I hate like I hate songs where it's like you did me wrong, you screwed me over, I hate you, you're
Okay,
the
yeah.
bad person. I like it better when you have a song where both people in the song they're just as responsible for why something doesn't work.
Okay, so that's why you wrote, for example, On the Met, or maybe Lonely Boys? Lonely Boys?
Well, even Animal Attraction,
Yeah.
yeah, Animal Attraction, it's like the narrator of the song. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's when you fall. It's when you. For me, both those songs. It's interesting you pointed them out.
Mhm.
Those are songs that I wrote specifically for someone, which I very rarely do.
Okay.
Like Skin Tension was inspired by a woman I was falling in love with, and we weren't together yet, and she said, "Oh, someone wrote me a song." So I said, I'll write you one better.
Great.
And I gave it to her right before she went on a trip with her mother. They were going to Ireland.
Okay.
And so she could listen to it on the plane.
Oh my God, you're such a romantic. Or well, I don't know if it's romantic. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
But there's definitely imagery in that song that I pulled from our lives, because I remember there's a line, tiptoes on cobblestones in glass stilettos.
Mm-hmm.
And that line was inspired by, before we were together, we went to a New Year's party together, and she was wearing stilettos. In Philadelphia, there's a lot of cobblestone streets, so she was like tripping and falling. But it was, to me, it was such like a beautiful image that I just like kept in my heart.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to sing that to her.
Yeah, because it's maybe because she looks real. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. It's a vulnerability. It's like it's not this goddess. It's this person.
Yeah, you bring them back to earth, so it's not like you idolize them.
Yeah.
It's more like.
And then one of my favorite movies is City of Lost Children. Have you seen that?
No. The Japanese movie. I have.
No. It's French. It's by Jeannot and Caro. And
no, I haven't seen it.
And Jeannot, the director, he ended up making Amélie.
Okay, yeah.
So you should watch it. It's an incredible movie.
I'm the worst.
The main character, her name is Miette, and she's like a little girl, and she's like really really strong-willed, and she has curly like black, like not curly, but she has black ringlets in her hair.
Okay.
Which the girl that I was falling in love with also. So she reminded me of Miette, like grown up.
That's what you said in the song.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, what does that mean? Oh my God.
But then also in the same song, I sing, I scream. And and that's a callback to, like, to when you're a child. It's something, I scream. But it's also a reference to this movie by Jim Jarmusch called Down by Law.
Okay.
And it's a line that Roberto Benigni, in that movie, Roberto Benigni plays an Italian immigrant in America, and he doesn't speak any English except for maybe like 5 phrases he has written in a book.
Okay.
And I thought that's a little bit of what it's like falling in love, because you don't know how to always say what you want to say.
Well, yeah. And
so that's why that I scream was a line from that movie, because I was like, oh, that's kind of like being in love. Like, you don't know what you want to say, but you have these things you could say, but it may not translate.
Yeah, it's like not. It's a way you use. Sorry about that. It's a way to use like symbolism, maybe. I wrote something that you said in an interview. I don't remember. That when you wrote Animal Attraction, you actually didn't like that much that person, or you didn't care about that person.
Yeah.
But writing a song, it's not a way of caring.
Well, that's why I was so frustrated, because I could tell that on like a physical level, I was falling for this person, and I knew it was not going to work. I knew it was just going to break my heart and upset me, and it did, and it was like messed up. And I was so mad at myself, because even though I knew this, I still was like, I guess it's better to have the experience than to be scared and not have it. 100%. So then I started writing this song. And even now I'm upset, because I think it's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever written.
Yeah.
But it's about a person that I don't really care about, and who wasn't a good person to me.
He wasn't a good person for you, or he wasn't like good person, point, like period?
Well, she just wasn't very nice. And it kind of bums me out, because I think she knows that I wrote that song for her.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Like.
And she doesn't deserve that song, but she did inspire a beautiful song. I'm very proud of that song.
It's like, for me, it was like so heartbreaking, because I have like an experience with this guy, that he was the one that told me like, you should listen to this band, man. And I'm like, oh my God, this song is so perfect, and he knows I feel that for him, and he will never understand. And yeah, I don't know why I'm telling you.
It's like when you're in love with someone and it doesn't work, it's it's like the little things that can like just like kill you. It's like this the smell of someone's hair on a pillow when they're no longer there,
Yeah.
or like
Or a
you know like I
barefoot
remember.
pirouette on the carpet make me feel.
Oh, yeah, yeah, she's a dancer, so she would dance on the carpet all the time.
Oh my
And like,
God.
but it's funny, you know, I kind of categorize this, and I'm sure this happens for a lot of people, but there will be moments in my life with people when something as small as like dancing on a carpet, it just like I can feel in that moment that this is a memory that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but
And
okay.
it's like it's interesting when that happens. You're like, oh wow, this is, or like the way you look at someone and they look at you and you're like, oh, and you see them and they look totally different to you, but at the same time they're so wonderful and beautiful and special in a different way you never imagined. You're like, oh, that's what I should have seen all along.
Okay, so you're saying this is gonna sound like kind of dumb, but you're saying that it's like taking a picture of the moment right when you're there, and you're like, oh, this I'm gonna remember this.
Yeah, but it doesn't always happen. For me, it doesn't. Like, and so when I was writing that song, I try to remember, and it's not all about her, but I try to remember moments like that in my life of like, oh yeah, you know,
Okay, but
yeah,
it's not kind of a not being in the moment, like in the present, like when you're like in that situation and you're starting to imagine yourself, imagine that memory. I don't know.
yeah,
Okay, so here, I know you used to go to college. I don't know if you graduate. I don't know. There's not that much info about Ryan. A lot of,
yeah,
but I know you went to college to screenwriting, right?
yeah,
So you know Raymond Carver, the
yeah. He's one of my favorite writers.
yeah, really, mine too.
Yeah,
But when I was reading him a while ago, I thought about you because I think that you actually tell a story. I don't know. You think you have the worst way to write songs, but it feels organic. I don't know. I hear
yeah.
you said that you have the worst way to write songs, but for me, it feels like I'm hearing a short story. Does that make
That's
sense?
like wow. I mean, you really went to my heart there. I mean, Raymond Carver is one of my favorite writers. When I try to write, actually, um, wow, that's incredible. I'm honored. Thank you. That means a lot to me,
I'm honored
honestly,
to interview you.
because my father gave me a book of what we talk about when we talk about love.
Yeah, that was exactly the
And I
book.
had it I had it for years on my bookshelf and I never read it. And then when I was in college, I think, um, I just didn't have the attention span. So I just started reading it and I read a story in there and in the span of 4 pages, like there's a complete story and he can like create such emotion in you.
Yeah,
And
because
so that's like it's like a short film or short story. And so like when I write songs, it's the same way. Like I want to get in and out as quickly as possible, but leave an impact.
yeah, because it's like writing a film. It's not the same as a series, for example, a TV series, because you have the time to uh, relax, for example. But in a short story or in a movie, you need to concentrate all the image
No, that's right.
pictures,
The imagery.
imagery.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Um, so talking about that, I know you like a lot of Jodorowsky, Alejandro Jodorowsky,
Oh
maybe.
yeah.
I know that. Yeah, and and do you realize what at what time? How old were you when you first watch Holy Mountain?
Holy Mountain.
Yeah.
Um, I was probably 22 years old.
Oh, you were.
Maybe, yeah, I was out of college already. I was like maybe first year out of college, so I think I was 22.
You were my age.
Yeah, and it
Okay.
freaked me and like, well, I didn't start playing music until I was like 23,
Okay, so it was after
22,
that,
23.
right? Like, but
Yeah.
what inspired? Like, do you realize that with music you can also make? Because Jodorowsky has, this talent to make you feel stuff more
Yeah.
than telling a story. Like why do you associate that movie with starring this career?
I think it was, well, I never imagined, you know, I've said this in countless interviews, but I never imagined it would be a career. That just kind of happened,
Okay.
and then kind of stuck with it. But you know, the thing that struck me the most about Jodorowsky was, um, it was very visceral.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it was violent. It was ugly,
Yeah, I
but there was
love
also this beauty in it. It celebrated like people that weren't traditionally like beautiful. It celebrated flaws
yeah,
because it's like,
he said that he loved his little monsters. So yeah, he's kind of that dude. I don't like the fact that he killed like a lot of animals.
no, I know that's fucked up. But
That's like
you know, but the thing that stuck with me the most, which, you know, I realized later, was I liked, it was a tightrope he walked, and it was a constant battle or balance between organized and chaos, beauty and ugliness,
yeah.
and the fact that they could coexist. And there was a narrative thread through it all, but it really was a constant juxtaposition of feeling. So when I started playing music, you know, I had no training, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know how to write songs, didn't have the patience to learn other people's songs, didn't know the names of chords, didn't know how to properly use my voice without destroying it. But I was like, as long as it feels right, and I, you know, I didn't care. I was like, you either love what I do or you hate what I do. Like, I didn't want the middle, and that's kind of what Jodorowsky is, you know? Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what Alejandro does, which is amazing. But because
Oh man.
do you froze? Okay, because when you started, some people said that you felt like punk, but for me, you're not punk because I'm not a fan of punk. But
No.
maybe because they said that because exactly that, because you didn't care about your, if you don't have training or not, you just want to emanate whatever you want to say. I don't know. Yeah.
That, I mean, if there was any punk thing, it was just the attitude of like, I don't care.
Exactly.
But you know,
Can I ask you something? It doesn't have anything to do with this, but the first song of your first album,
ask me whatever. I don't give a shit.
perfect. The first song of your first album has something to do with Holy Mountain, because I the name is like killing a Peruvian or
Against the Peruvian monster. Yeah.
it's fun. Neat. Okay, so this is something like more for me because I want to be a screenwriter. I am a screenwriter. Okay, whatever. But
You are a screenwriter.
I am. I know. Someday.
Hey, if you ever write a role for me, let me know.
I will. I want a role and the whole soundtrack, everything, whatever. I mean, do you talk about things that mad you, that makes you mad, or things that you love only?
Oh, I mean, it's everything. I mean, I'm a collage artist in a lot of ways. I mean, the thing is like you know, sue me, but I can't stand emo music. So I can't stand music that's just whiny and bitching and complaining all the time, you know?
Yeah, that's why.
It's just I'm not into it. And I have a hard time like I can't let myself do that. So I mean, when I write a song, I tend to bury any true confession stuff that you're talking about
Okay, yeah.
in between the lines of other things. So any given song, I mean, I can count on maybe both hands
Okay.
how many songs are just like straight up from the heart.
Okay,
All the
wow.
songs have lines from the heart, but they're always buried in with like maybe something inspired by something I read or a movie or something that happened to me or something happened to my friend or something I heard. Or
Okay,
like,
okay. Yeah, the same
so
way we all write shit down, like with things that happen not only to us, I guess. No?
yeah. But you know that's the thing about music is that for me that's one of the hardest things is you want to write a song that has a universal quality to it, that someone can hear it and they can identify with it. Because if it's too much like me, that shit's boring.
That's
it's like I think it's better when you have like a sad song buried in a happy sounding music, you know?
Yeah, that's horrible. Sometimes when I'm horrible in a great way, when I'm hearing your music, I'm like, I'm so sad, but I can stop moving. Like it's weird. I figure like you, Man in concert will be like amazing. I'm just waiting for this fucking shit to end. I mean, coronavirus. So I'm going to.
I know.
I'm going to go whenever you are, and because I need it. Like it's horrible, and in these times, I don't know how you cope with this. I mean, like, are you excited?
It sucks.
Yeah, your face. It sucks. Yeah, I know. But aren't you excited about like going on tour next year? Because it will be. I would like to think that it will be like a relaunch of.
I'm gonna call back. Maybe the connection will be better.
Okay.
It's hard because as a band, we were it took 4 years to write this record.
Yeah.
And it's been 7 years since our last record. So we had tours booked. I was excited because there were so many times when I was writing this record that I just wanted to quit because I was like, oh man, it's just too hard. So we were so excited. And then, our label said, you can wait to put the record out. I was like, no, I think people need this music. And it's kind of ironic that this music really, it's about dealing with isolation and pushing through stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense right now, especially the album cover.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Do you, I guess so, but do you give the whole album to the diseñador?
The artist?
The artist, yeah, the artist, yeah.
No, I was looking, I had my eye open and I was just looking for the right piece of art that would express what I felt the album was about.
Okay.
And so when I found that, I had the album title first. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
It's actually perfect. Do you still feel like you're in between valley, like in the limbo? Or...
Oh yeah, man. Because everything was primed for us to finally it took so many years to get back on my feet with this band. I put out a solo record and I made a Mr. Heavenly record, and I've been working and making music, but Man is my baby. And it, it was taken away from me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use the name for a few years.
What?
And
how?
Yeah, it sucked. So I really felt lost. And to be able to get it back, and then right when we put it out, a pandemic hits.
What the fuck?
So
how? I didn't know that. How come you lost the right to your names?
Just ex-band member.
Ah, you're actually like Jodorowsky. Because he with the movies happened the same. Whatever.
Yeah, it sucked. I mean, it sucked to have my baby taken away from me, but I ended up getting it back, but it just took a long time. That's why it took so long to put out a record.
Yeah, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason.
I know. I mean, the only thing I'm worried about is that it comes out and I just don't want it to slip through the cracks.
Well, I don't think so because I think this, and it's not just my opinion. I've seen a lot of articles and shit telling this is the best album of the band and one of the best albums of the 2020, and I actually think so. It's so different from the sounds that we used to hear, but at the same time you can really be I don't know. It can move you because I'm from Latin America, as you know, or as I think it's all about reggaeton and urban sounds here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have anything. You don't have nothing of that in your album, and still it makes everyone that I put the songs. Everyone is just have to get up of their seats because it's. I don't know. I think that you're going to. It's special, really, really special.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's the experience. That's the hardest thing. Is that my favorite thing, and it's And I feel lucky that I because some people spend their whole lives looking for that thing that gets their blood going, that gets their heart pumping. And I was lucky to discover music and playing shows. And so, but my favorite thing is being able to like tour and share the experience of live music and like just watch people and look stupid, but they don't care. And just kind of like, if they had a bad day, they can come to our show and freak out and just get it out of their system.
Yeah.
And that energy is like indescribable. And the fact that we can't do that now it's hard, because when I can't tour and play shows, and this is the longest that it's been like that, it eats away at you. But I decided I'm gonna do a Patreon.
You should.
I'm not crazy about. No, I'm on Monday. I'm gonna drop it, and I'm gonna like put up. Because I had to move. I had Marie Kondo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a Marie Kondo in my life a little bit, but while I was doing that, I was discovering all this. Like, I found 3 VHS tapes of my first 3 shows from Man ever.
Oh my God. Like
VHS.
no
yes.
way.
And I had them digitized. And so like my first show I've ever played with Man.
Oh my God. And have you seen it? Are you going to?
Oh, it's like embarrassing, but I'm going to put that on Patreon, and I'm going to, for my solo record, there was a documentary made. I'm going to put that up there. And
perfect, because I was looking for that documentary and I didn't find it.
Yeah, I'm just going to put whatever, because I have all this stuff. I have like set list and old photographs, and I just want to share it.
Yeah, you should, because I know there's a lot of people like me are excited to see you in your first Man concert. It will be.
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
Why?
I had a mullet.
Okay.
I had a mullet and bangs. Like because the Man, it used to be called. Our first name was Gamelan.
Okay, yeah.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
But we weren't named. There's a style of music called gamelan from Indonesia, and we weren't named after that. We were named after this like Japanese cartoon called Star Lasers, and it was like so stupid. So I tried to have like some weird 70s mullet. It was bad.
But you were young, so it's okay, I guess. I mean,
I was young.
We don't have.
But my mustache was so skinny. It was like you could see right through it. Like it took me, like I was like 23 and like barely had a mustache, like pube stash they call it.
Well, you're a grown man right
now. I'm a grown ass man. Yeah.
Finally, I hope be one man today. Not a man, you know what I mean. So yeah. No. So talking about like despair. About the
oh, my favorite subject.
Yes, mine too. Setsuo in Japanese, whatever. Okay, so Cloud9. I feel it's like an ode to abandon all hope, but not in a bad way, not like abandon all hope. It's like, okay, so you're in the present, life change all the time, so you should accept that. Which it feels different from Head On, Hold On to Your Heart.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like they're Head On. It's that song that inspires you to keep going, and Cloud9, it's more like put your feet on the ground, sort of thing. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it was birthed out of this idea of like, nothing ever lasts, so you really should appreciate the time you have now, because it could be fucking over. It's and it's funny because that video, I directed it, but it's all stock footage that I licensed of an old man dancing by himself on empty city streets. It comes out 1 week before, boom, COVID. Like, who would have guessed?
I think, okay, so that's interesting, right? Because I think, I've been looking and investigating a lot about Buddhism. I don't know how to say Buddhism and Buddhism. Yeah, Buddhism. Yeah. Eso. So yeah, and this thing about like we as humans are connected, and sometimes I feel like art and artists are more a medium, it's like, okay, yeah, of course the ideas come from your mind, but somehow we all connected. So maybe you're like a, ¿cómo se dice antena? Tipo, antenna. You're like an antenna and you're receiving
Yeah.
information and you put it there. Like, I don't know. It's more like it's not like you see the future, but it somehow it reveals in your art what we all as a community, I don't know, are feeling or it's about to happen.
Finger on the pulse. But it's it's one of those things where I've always joked my whole career that we're not popular, but I feel like when the world is over, we'll be popular. People will finally get, oh yeah, that's what he was trying to sing about. Like I call it apocalyptic pop music.
It's
And so I was like, oh wow, of course, like what I think is my best record is going to come out during like the end of the world.
yeah, it actually, well, I don't think so. Yeah, talking about that,
I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's we're in a process of molting. I feel like right now the world has the potential to come out of the cocoon and be a butterfly once we get through all this bullshit,
so
or
you,
come out of the cocoon and be a monster. I don't know.
oh, well, that's a hard question, but so you think we're at like awakening sort of thing, like,
I think we're in a transformative period.
okay.
Like I think we have to have all this ugliness right now. Hopefully for people to like you said, wake the fuck up.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
That's a positive outlook. If a negative one would be like, it's over.
but yeah, but in some way, like, I mean, I used to waste so much time thinking the worst possible outcome, which it doesn't work for me. I mean, I'm 24 and I'm like, it hasn't been working, so I better, see the good side of the stuff, or the,
Yeah.
because it doesn't, I don't know. Why do you make music? I mean, like, do you want to be immortal, or you want to uh, transmit a feeling? Because the first time I saw this movie, it called Comet, from the creator of Mr. Robot, Sam Esmail. When I saw that
Okay.
movie, like, my life changed. I was like, I want to do something like that. I want to make people feel how I felt when I
Mm.
saw that movie. And I know that movie, it's not that, nobody, it's not that popular. And I thought, I think I will be okay if I made a movie which is not that popular, but I know it has, the content to move people, soul, whatever. So, but then there's my ego, and I'm like, I want to be immortal. I want that people talks about me after I'm died. So, how do you feel about that? Like, you want to people talk about you or about Man
No, I
Man?
mean, I make music because I have to. Because
Okay.
if I didn't, I mean, I have no doubt. Like when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, I wasn't healthy like in my head,
Okay.
and and I firmly believe that it's corny, but music saved my life, and it's something that I totally stumbled across. It was an outlet, and I didn't expect for it to be more than one record, but it became something that I could pour. It gave me something to focus on rather than to focus on the negative things in my life
Yeah.
or the things that weren't going right for me. But because when you're young and like when you're when you're young and you're right out of school, you're right out of high school, you're right out of college, university, the world is so large
Yeah.
and you feel so insignificant.
Yeah. Totally.
And it's like and it can be a crushing, terrifying feeling.
Yeah.
And you can go work your shitty job, which I worked shitty jobs for years, and it's soul crushing. You're like, what is my purpose? But if you have some sort of creative outlet that you can pour your brain into and your creativity, it gives you something to just like, even if it goes nowhere, at least you have something that you're making that no one else is making. That's special and it means something to you. And to hell with other people what they think about it. And sometimes that little like match can become a torch that can get you out of the darkness in your life. And that's what it did for me.
Okay, so you don't have demons anymore? You're perfect.
Oh, I got so many fucking, it sucks. Uh, I mean, right now it's hard. I mean, but yeah, I feel lucky because the music really did save my life. And I was lucky, and I feel very fortunate that it was able to connect with other people because I never really thought it would, you know?
Okay. Oh, okay. That's
But it made me not afraid. It made me not afraid in the sense that I didn't really care what people thought as long as I liked it and I believed in it.
yeah. I mean, like, the sound of Man Man is like fearless. I think it's like you don't give a fuck. I'm gonna make noise here, and I'm gonna be like a classical music here, and then I'm gonna be like country.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's created a lot of problems with people who were in Man Man in the past. We weren't on the same page. They just didn't understand. You know, like, no, I don't want to play on this song. It sounds like a reggae song, but I'm like, it's not though. It's a Man Man song. And it may feel like one to you, but it's not going to be a reggae song. Because I guarantee you a reggae song
Sucks.
is not going to sing, put the lotion in the basket, you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, like as, we're in this century, and it's absurd to think that you have just one genre, right? Like,
I know.
it's like,
People aren't like that.
yeah,
I mean, some people are, and that's why we have President Trump. But, you know, people are complicated. You know, you're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're going to be a pain in the ass.
yeah,
You're going to be lovable, all within the span of the same hour. You know, why can't songs do the same thing? I don't know why
exactly.
you have to be one thing.
I don't know, but maybe because people doesn't like, people like to feel like they're on control, maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's actually the problem. Talking about nothing of this, I was hearing the prettiest song in the world, and then Power My Wig, and I don't know if you how you're going to take this, but for me, I love Disney, so whatever, fuck you if you don't like it. But I felt like I don't fuck you. I felt like
Oh,
the,
I mean, Jungle Book is my favorite soundtrack. That and Robin Hood.
but the other day I saw Robin Hood is so good. Well, whatever. Okay, so
Yeah.
the prettiest song in the world and Power My Week both sound to me like Disney surrealistic type of music, especially for example in a part of the prettiest song in the world. I think you can put it in a. This is gonna sound stupid, but in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
I
Uh,
hope so.
yeah, yes, and also
Cha-ching.
and also part of my week, the last part, it sounds like Alice in the Wonderland, totally
That's
for.
great.
Uh,
No, I love that.
yeah, I mean, like it's on purpose. Like you have, I mean, you're in LA, so I don't know, but those references, that thing about, I don't know, it's so magic, and it's weird because it's rock, so it shouldn't sound like you're about to dance, or I don't know.
Who says?
Who
Who
says?
says? How dare you?
Well,
Well, it's funny you picked those two songs because, like, when I wrote those two songs, uh, I've also been working on a musical.
yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah, of
and I
course.
never, and so I never really listened. I watched. I'm not like a musical guy. So, but I was like listening to like the soundtrack to Popeye,
Okay.
which great soundtrack. I don't know if you've heard it. You should get it. It's
Okay,
incredible.
I'm.
Maybe I'll email it to you. I'll email it to
Yeah,
you. Just
please.
remind me. Just remind me.
Okay, okay, perfect.
But Harry Nilsson did the soundtrack.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was listening to a lot of musicals. I was trying to write musicals, and musicals are, there's a format,
Yeah.
which I still don't understand because I'm not trained. So it's very frustrating. But it was starting to creep into my songwriting. So definitely Prettiest Song and Powder My Wig. Powder My Wig was also kind of inspired by this Who song. The Who had this film concert called Rock and Roll Circus.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Roy Stones had Rock and Roll Circus,
Okay.
and the Who play a song on there.
Okay.
And this song sounds nothing like that, but I liked it that Who song had so many changes, so many parts.
Yeah, and
and in many ways, it's my Bohemian Rhapsody as
I
well.
was about to ask you that, like, you don't think that's kind of risky to say that? Like, it's your Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not. Bohemian Rhapsody is it's a masterpiece. But I just mean in the sense that there's so many movements.
Yeah, that's actually true. Like,
Yeah.
well, doesn't matter. Okay, so, how do you feel about people taking drugs or acid or whatever in your concert? Because I know that you one time kick a guy who was pooping.
Oh, yeah.
Pooping.
He pooped in his
Yeah,
pants.
that sounds like a thing that you do when you're on acid. Sometimes.
I think taking mushrooms and going to concert is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, because it feels like the whole man experience itself is like a acid trip or whatever. So it doesn't matter or to you that people are high on your stuff or I don't know.
Oh, I mean, no, I don't give a shit. Just don't poop your pants, you know? I mean, I've taken mushrooms and tried to listen to my own music, and I can't do it. It's depressing to me. I remember when I was in Philadelphia many years ago, I took some mushrooms and I sat in my house and I listened to Six Demon Bag, and I just sat there and I was like, what is wrong with me? And I looked around the house and I was like, why does my house look like a German expressionistic film set? Who lives like this? Why am I living like this?
Who am I again?
Who am I? Oh my! And then I never listened to my music again when I was on mushrooms.
Well, it's kind of I don't know how it feels because I haven't made any music, but maybe it's something about you don't want to confront yourself, and also you were at your house that. Why do you say?
I mean, mostly 16 and Bag is a weird record.
It's so weird. I mean,
that record is mixed so weird. You know, like I made that record. My entire original band from the first record quit.
Okay.
and I didn't tell my label because I didn't want them to drop us. So I had to record that, and I recorded it and my friend Mizzle engineered it, and we recorded it in his warehouse. Over like a summer.
Okay.
And it was a crazy circumstance, and like didn't have a band, so it was a nightmare.
Okay, but I think you pull it through perfectly.
It's a cool record. It's just so strange.
Yeah.
Just the way it sounds is so weird.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, like sometimes if you're at the street or something and you're hearing it, it's more loudly than another thing. You have to hear it, like, I think in that space when you can actually appreciate everything that's going on there. Because
there's so much going on. Yeah. And it's mixed so weird. Because I remember I would listen to a song and like, it doesn't sound right. I think I need to scream in this one little part, or I need to sing in falsetto right here, or I think we gotta like break something, or you know.
Why do you say your house looked like an expressionist German film at that time? Because everything was
it was just weird. Like my living room was fucked up and weird, and like I had put an enormous, it was an upright piano, but it was like a grand piano upright, so like it made everything in the room look really small, and they were just like all the furniture was broken, like there was just all the chairs at the kitchen table we were sitting at were fucking broken, and there were just mice everywhere, and like the floors were warped, so the room that I was living in at the time, you could put a marble in one corner of the room and it would roll slowly to the other
okay,
corner.
perfect. So it's horrible to have 20s, to, you know, like your 20s are horrible. I mean, like to have your house that way. I mean, not you, everyone. It's just not a good idea.
I mean, but you can deal with it because you're in your 20s and it's like, it's colorful. But thinking back, like I found some old photographs of my room at that time that I'll probably put on the Patreon. But I painted my room bright yellow.
Oh,
why? That's like the crazy. That's like what?
Because I don't know. I mean, like yellow, it's like a color which means you're inquieto, uneasy. I mean, I don't know. Uneasy, yeah, but.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, my room was bright yellow, and I had a deer head hanging over my bed. So like it could have fallen off during my sleep and impaled me, but I had it right there, like over my
Maybe you
head.
like just like the risk, not know if you're going to wake up every
I
morning.
definitely liked how crazy my room looked. But then when I see a picture, I'm like, oh my God, I live like that?
Okay, so have you ever been like your heart be broken and you being on the road? Like you have to deal with the fact that you just shatter and you have to keep going because you have to pay the rent and like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
how
I mean,
and how do you deal
I've
with
had to
that?
play two shows. One show we played 5 minutes before we took the stage, and this was a show. This was in Ohio, and it was a show that was being videoed. And we found out that our friends who were in another band, their van had crashed, and one of our best friends died.
Better, okay.
And then we had to play a show,
Okay, wow.
and it was on, and like we were all crying, and like we were shell shocked. And then the show's on YouTube somewhere, but it's like we look dead.
And
And then I had to play a show once where I found out right before I took the stage that my grandmother died.
fuck. And do you feel do you think that feel felt sorry about that. Do you think that
Like,
feel it shows to the audience?
well, yeah, I mean, definitely, like I felt like for the first one I told you, I definitely felt like I was crying, or singing a song like Van Helsing Boombox. Yeah,
Okay.
you know?
Está bien. Great. Okay. And I'm about to end all this, but when people recommend you to write a song about whatever, why and not you only, but in general, when people recommend us to do things, we're like, yeah, yeah, and then you don't do the thing. It's a thing about ego. It's because you don't want to write something that someone else told you, or just people, they have horrible ideas and you just don't pay attention to them.
I guess it's mostly just my process.
Okay.
Like I just can't. I mean, that's the interesting thing is sometimes if someone gives me like, for example, like the musicals, if someone's like, oh, I need a song that has these things in it, then it's easy because it's easier because then I at least have a blueprint of what to work with.
Yeah.
If someone's like, hey, why don't you just write a song about, Donald Trump? I'm like, fuck off. Like my dad, when I got IRS taxes came after me in 2007 for some it was fucked up.
Okay.
But dad was like, why don't you write a song about it? I was like, fuck you, Dad. But then I wrote a Piranha's Club, punch your dad in the face.
Okay, perfect. So you were inspired by that, but it wasn't your dad's
But there's
idea.
a song on the new record, Lonely Boys.
Billboards, right?
Yeah, the Billboards line inspired me.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's just a part. I mean, like
It was just one line.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
But sometimes that's all it takes to get into a song because for me that's the hardest thing is, and I've talked about this a lot and I wish it could change, but it's just how it is. I like right now, currently, I have no idea how to write songs. I just don't know. I have no idea. And it's so frustrating and it's so scary and it never gets easier.
I mean, it's like you're being reborn.
Yeah, and it sucks. Cuz like I should spend this time right now in COVID and not touring quarantine, like trying to write a new record, but I haven't. Like I've been working on a TV show, writing a TV show.
Oh, really? Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
How is your screenwriting career? Is that good? Does that?
I have no career, but I still write.
Do you? Okay, but why? Why you don't try to do something with that? Because
I am. Like
I'm trying here.
yeah, I'm trying here. Damn it, Veronica.
Okay.
No, I'm writing I wrote a pilot, and then with a friend we wrote 2 more episodes. So we have 3 episodes and the season outlined.
Okay, that's actually
It's like a detective story in Los Angeles with a female who's not a detective.
Okay, that sounds great. I mean, like, and there's like females writing this female
No.
character. Okay, yeah, it's okay.
Oh, the main character is female.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, but yeah, there's no female writers, right?
Not yet, hopefully.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. I mean, like, I do mind. It should be more women in everything.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's. I think women are interesting. I mean, it's why I write a lot of songs about women. You know.
Really? I didn't notice. Like,
Yeah.
really, you like
I
women?
just think there needs to be more songs about women instead of like, you did me wrong, you fucked me over.
Yeah, it's
I
horrible.
hate
Like
that stuff.
19, you hear 19 songs, and it's like women need to repair men, or they're bitches.
I know, it's like so
It's
lame,
like,
so boring.
why is this? Why we have to be?
Why is it either these two stupid extremes?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I felt like it was time on the record for a duet. Like I'd always wanted a duet.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, why do you feel like the name for this?
If only.
No, I know if only, of course. I know
Yeah.
the name of the song, but I was asking more about like el drama, la historia, the story behind. What do you feel that it has to be in a duet and not just you?
I just thought it'd be more interesting if you got both perspectives. If you know, if you're just hearing both sides and they're basically telling the same story. But I like that they're telling the same story, but they're still not connecting. Even though they're on the same page, they're not at all. They're in different books.
Okay, I didn't notice that because for me, at some point, it's like, is she repeating? What is happening here? I'm not getting it. Why put your thoughts in a well so that way you can sleep better? What's happening there? Like,
I guess it's just like it's because it's a because there's thoughts and fears. So it's like it's the disconnect between someone who operates from here and someone who operates from here.
so when you're
And that's why they're like, even though they feel like they're expressing the same, the same divide, they're completely different because they're just different people. Like it's someone who has to think about things in a very analytical way and someone who thinks about things emotionally, and they're just never going to connect.
oh,
But it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just they're not the right people for each other.
yeah, I think no one is the right people for each other. No one.
I agree. I agree with you.
I'm like, I don't believe in love anymore. No, it's okay. So do they dream a lot? Like when you cite, because I heard that you cite too loudly or audibly.
Oh yeah.
So,
I don't sleep that much, so I don't dream very much. It sucks.
but daydreaming, because it's not the same. Like,
I wish I daydreamed. No, I have too much on my mind all the time. It sucks, and it's actually something that I've been working on because I kind of get too in my own head, and then I'm not productive. But no, I sleep maybe 3 or 4 hours a night
have you
total.
have you tried? Wow, that's nothing,
I've tried a
dude.
lot. I've tried everything.
Is that meditating? Not for
I've
sleeping,
tried meditating.
like
Yeah,
for be out of your mind, sort of. Have you
yeah.
have you read Ramdas?
No, I haven't actually.
I mean, like, I'm really fucked up.
Email me that.
Okay, I will. It's important because I think sometimes we're so caught up in our heads that it's difficult to even see it's in your house. Like the other time, I realized that my house has like a green pared wall, and I didn't
Yeah, yeah.
notice. Like, and I've been living there like 1 month or two, and I'm like, why I haven't noticed these details? I don't know. It's weird when you write your music. You're doing from your heart or from your mind. I mean, like, it's more like an intuition thing or a mental thing. Like,
Yeah, it's an intuition thing because I'm sure, I mean, you seem to be pretty researched here. So I'm sure that you've read that I write by playing and singing,
yeah,
and then it just comes from somewhere. I very rarely go in. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard to write that way. And as I've gotten older, it gets even harder.
I
And when I was younger, like I never wrote down the words
okay.
because for me, it was like, if I can't remember the words tomorrow, then how can I expect anyone to remember the words?
That's
but
dumb.
when you get older, you don't remember shit as much. So now I write down everything.
When I imagine you with the songs that you put on the wall, that you said that, I don't know, you said that.
Yeah. That's
I imagine you like the meme, like the guy that is like making.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay, this is like the last question. I have like a bunch, but I know this is.
You can ask as many as you want. I don't have anywhere to go.
Me neither, but I think Tomás here has some shit to do, right, Tomás?
I don't.
I don't. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, do you feel a sense of belonging? Because I know you're from the south, right? I don't know exactly.
I'm from nowhere.
I'm from nowhere, like the con.
Well, my father was Air Force.
Okay. Wow.
So every 3 years we moved.
Oh.
And I'm multicultural. My mom is Filipino.
Okay, great.
So it was like I've always felt like one foot in different worlds.
Yeah, that was that's why I asked you that, because you made the name of Man in Philadelphia, but you're not from there, and now you're in LA, and
yeah.
So I don't know. For me, I'm from Venezuela, and sometimes it's hard, like feel that I belong here in Argentina. But I actually do feel a sense of belonging in my country. But I don't know if you feel that, and I don't know if that matters to you at all. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's why I was in Philadelphia for so long, because I don't have roots. Like my parents are no longer married, so they live in houses that I have no attachment to.
Claro.
It's like I moved all the time. It like the only time I feel the most comfortable is when I'm playing shows.
So your home is whenever the stage is?
I know that's corny, but yeah, it's like, I love LA though. I mean, LA's awesome. It's too expensive, especially when you're not working.
I got it. Yeah, I know. My parents now, they live in New York, and
Where in New York?
Well, New York. They live in Hoboken, but my stepfather works in New York. So I went there 2 months ago, like just before the pandemic, whatever. And it's so fucking expensive. I'm like, I want to live here, but what's happening? I mean, like, I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like New York. My brother lives in Bushwick. He lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I lived in New York for a little bit. It's just, I mean, it's expensive, and that sucks. And I mean, you can find your people wherever you live, but there is something, like in LA, like I moved here to be around people who are making stuff.
Yeah, that's
who are like working.
Thing. Yeah, that's the smart thing.
Yeah. And that's why I left the East Coast, is because like I had a ton of friends, but a lot of the friends just like to drink, and that's not interesting to me. I need to be creative, and I have a very restless soul, and I think it's the way that I grew up.
Yeah.
Is that I can't ever be comfortable. I always have to be doing something, and when I'm not doing anything and I'm being lazy, it just eats at me.
Well, yeah.
I wish I could just be lazy and be happy, like a pig. Laying in food.
Bring me more food.
Yeah.
But
I can't.
Well, you're surrounded by outstanding people, I guess. So that makes everything easier, because I don't think the thing that we do, it's a thing that you should do by yourself. I mean, like, it's so more potent when you're surrounded by people that are better even than you. I don't know if you're surrounded by people that are better than you.
No, that's important. Like, I think that's the most important thing as someone, as an artist or someone who creates stuff. Like, you need to be around people who have talent that you will never touch, because while it can be crushing, it's also inspirational, and it can push you to be better. You need to have people who push you rather than people who are like, "You're awesome." Yeah. It's better to be surrounded by people who inspire you.
But wait, okay, that's I got that, but at the same time, it's nice to be surrounded by people that admires you.
or support you. I think support.
Okay, so you don't like admire.
I guess I just don't have that around me. So, I mean,
Okay.
the people that are in my life are just like, oh, yeah, that's Ryan.
Yeah. Hi,
So,
Ryan.
yeah.
Okay, I guess I understand. I don't know. I always surround myself with so that people are so much better than me. Tomás is like way better than me. You are. I love you. but
But I mean, I do the same thing with my band. Like the musicians who play with me, way better than I will ever be. But they make me look better.
well, I mean, like
That's the secret. Surround yourself with like badasses, and then just like,
and
yes.
you're, I'm with them, so that means something.
Yeah. Your posse, make your posse super talented, and then you look great.
Yeah.
To people on the outside, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all amazing, and you're like, yeah, they're all amazing, not me.
But that's the one thing. It's like, but be good at the thing you do, because I've played with incredible people, and they make brilliant music themselves. But like, no one will ever write the kind of songs I write. You know, that's what I bring to the table.
Yeah,
So it's why I can have so many different people in the band, yet there's still a vision from all the
so
records.
you're kind of a director.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
So and you do the same when you're writing this pilot, for example. Are your friend or whatever, your compañero,
Co-writer.
co-writer? I'm so dumb, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I know. Yeah, is he better than you? Do you feel that connection with him?
He's really talented. I think he's a great writer. Our styles are different. He's better at writing prose than I am. I'm terrible at writing prose.
So, I mean, because you said that you feel like you have to do the writing thing, the screenwriting thing with someone else. It's not by yourself, right?
I like the collaborative. My favorite part of for writing, not for music, not so much. For writing, I love brainstorming.
Yeah.
Like I like problem solving. I like coming up with story ideas. I like bouncing ideas off each other. For writing, that is my bread and butter. That's what I love so much. And someday, hopefully, I can get into a writer's room, because I love bouncing ideas off.
I think if people have heard or listened carefully your music, they should know that you know how to write, or at least how to, bring a lot of ideas and put it together, which I think it's
Yeah.
important. So yeah, what was this is stupid, but so what do you prefer? I know it's not the same, but it's the same writer, sort of. So what do you prefer, Killing Eve or Fleabag? This is a question that has nothing to do, but
Fleabag.
Fleabag the series. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen both.
Okay, yeah, but because Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the same writer in both of the
Well,
shows.
Fleabag is her thing, and Killing Eve was adapted from like novellas.
Yeah, novelas.
But I like Fleabag better,
It's
especially that last shot. Oof, kills you.
the
Yeah, Fleabag's incredible.
the saying goodbye. Yeah, I know. I read the whole script from the two TV series, and I'm like, I'm gonna be like that someday. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's talking about comedies, and I promise.
I do like Killing Eve though. It's good.
Yeah, it's good,
Like,
but I just prefer
And-
so
and-
much more Fleabag.
yeah.
When I
And in a small world, sorry for interrupting, but in a small world, my friend, she's a playwright, and I scored a play of hers once for stage. I wrote all the music for it.
nice.
But she is the one who was the showrunner for season 3 of Killing Eve.
Wow, you have some friends,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You should use that. Okay, so I read a few articles that you wrote to Talking House.
Talk House?
Yeah, Talk House.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, it's just funny. I mean, like, you're a funny guy, and I wanted to know, like, you feel like a funny guy or a funny writer, because it's not the same.
I have a sense of humor. I have levity.
Okay, yeah, okay. I don't want to talk that much about myself. Well, it's okay. Well, I think,
I think I have a very dark sense of humor.
yeah,
I mean, you can hear it in the songs, definitely.
that's why I like.
Like it's pretty cryptic.
It's so funny. Oh my God, like, I don't.
Gallows humor, you know?
Yeah, I just wanna. It doesn't matter. Anyway, well, that's about. Ava.
That's all you got?
No, it's not. But I think I'm gonna like throw up or something. No, I'm kidding.
No, you've done great. This is awesome. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I was so excited to do it, and in the sense of because
But you're not excited anymore?
no, because I already know you and
You've done it,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Oh, and also never meet your idols. It's I'm joking, but yeah, wait. This is just for fun. Do you think you can survive in a apocalypse war?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
but are you are.
You know why? Because I lived in Philly for so long.
Oh my God! I went to Philly like 3 months ago, and it was okay. It wasn't that horrible. I don't know what.
And it depends where you went.
I
There's some fucked up parts of Philly, man.
yeah.
But I guess you're from South America, so you've seen fucked up shit.
I'm always so worried about being robbed that I don't have fear anymore.
That was a thing where I felt lucky in Philly because I was like in my 20s. You know, I wear super tight pants. I have a mullet and a mustache. I look crazy.
You were
In cowboy
hot.
boots, and like I'm riding like a little like BMX bike, and people are like, "Whoa, that guy's weird. I'm not gonna mess with him."
Yeah, you're going to the other side of the vereda.
Yeah,
The
straight.
street.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but that's like a pretty thing to say. But like, you're a musician, so like technically speaking, like you know how to I don't know do a fire like a fire camp or I don't know what.
Yeah.
Do you know those things? Oh my God.
How to do a fire?
I know,
Yeah.
know how to do a fire only, like, like how to survive. Like, literally, like, you watch those programs in Discovery or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, my favorite, some of my favorite stuff is like post-apocalyptic. Like I love the Fallout video games.
okay.
And I like like The Road and Mad Max and
Okay, so you're ready. Okay, perfect. I feel like sometimes I'm like, nobody will need artists after the apocalypse. What am I going to do? Like,
I mean, I would probably be like a scavenger.
you will eat people, maybe?
No, not a cannibal. No. But I'll probably be the guy who goes out and finds shit.
No, I know what a scavenger means, but
Yeah.
you can also eat
Be a
people.
cannibal.
I mean, if there's nothing more, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I could eat people.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. Would you rape people?
Would I rape people? No.
It's a possibility. Oh my! I thought you liked dark humor. I'm sorry.
What am I on Burger Records? Oh, sorry.
Okay, but, well,
Sorry. Does that make sense? I don't know.
sort of.
No. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna rape and eat people.
I sometimes I'm not sure, but I'm a woman, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
But I do have I don't have any guns, but I do have bow and arrow, and I have an axe, and I have a lot of knives, so that would come in handy.
Yeah, but why you don't have guns? I mean, you're in America, so
I have an old shotgun, but it doesn't work. I don't think it works.
it just works to threat people.
Well, I had it for a photo shoot when I was like 25, and I still have it. A friend loaned it to me, and then I forgot to give it back to him. But it's from like the 1800s, so I think it works.
And you know how to use
But it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, like you look cool, probably with
Yeah,
anything.
it looks cool. It looks scary.
Kind of. So you know how to use a gun, like
I've shot a gun. Yeah, I know how to load and shoot a
You know,
gun.
that's important. Like that's the only thing. It's so scary for me to touch a gun because some.
I don't like guns, but I know how to shoot one.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I have a funny story about guns actually.
Tell me.
So in LA, there's the LA Gun Club. It's like in our by our Tokyo town by China. It's not Chinatown. It's like Japan, like where all the Japanese stuff is.
Hmm.
And I would, all you have to do is give your driver's license, and then they give you a gun, and then you go shoot,
I don't get
which
it.
is so scary. But when you're like in your 20s, you don't think about that. You're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. And so I went there a few times, and then one time I was rolling up, and I was like, look at these guys are so Euro trash. Like there were like two guys stay outside. They look so trashy, like kind of like scumbags. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit, that's justice. And it was justice. And they were like, I guess they had just shot a video or something inside.
Oh my god! Like
Justice.
just in the band. What the fuck?
Yeah, the band. I was like,
Okay. Well, that.
but I thought it was funny because I was like, who are these like Euro trash looking dudes?
Well.
I was like, oh, it's justice.
Well, I mean, like, how do you try to talk to them, or do you
No,
have a
I don't give a
gun
shit.
with you? So it will be weird. Like, hey guys.
Yeah. What's up, Justice? No, I didn't care. I just thought it was funny.
Okay, perfect. Well,
But that happens in LA, like one time I cut off a guy in traffic and he was like in the passenger seat he was like throwing a tantrum and he had like curly hair and was flopping around and I was like, "Oh my god, that guy looks he's like such an LA." I was like, "Oh, that's Richard Simmons." And Richard Simmons is like
really?
a famous
Yeah, I know.
like
I know who Richard.
but
What?
the exercise guy.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, do you like the beach? I mean, do you go to the beach? Be living in LA? Beach?
I've only been to the beach maybe like a handful of times. I don't go to the beach. I like the desert.
I like because there's no water there, so you can die.
The desert's nice though. You just like do some mushrooms, think about life, look at the cactuses.
Really,
But you have beautiful beaches in Argentina. Yeah?
no, because Argentina it's like really, really in the south. It's horrible, like the worst kind of beach. But
Oh,
in
yeah.
my country, Venezuela, it's the Caribbean, so yeah, we have
Yeah.
so beautiful beaches. So that's the thing about LA for me. I'm like in LA it's everything and there's the beach, which I deeply love.
I mean, that's the cool thing about LA is that you can drive, 30 or 40 minutes and you can be desert, beach, mountains. You can, it's
You have
awesome.
everything. Yeah, it's so do you feel like you're in the zone? I mean, like comfortable?
Yeah, I love LA.
Oh.
It's just expensive.
Yeah,
That's the
okay,
only downside.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah, it's so expensive. What's up, Tomás?
you want to ask you something?
I want to ask, how'd you get to LA?
How did I get to LA? When I first moved to LA, a friend of mine, she lived in a 2-bedroom apartment and she had an extra room with a couch in it. And she was like, "I know you want to move to LA. Just live here in this room." So she didn't. I paid.
That's
Okay.
cool.
She charged me like rent that I could afford,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and I lived on a couch for 1 year.
Well, that's
She was
dope.
like, you can put a bed in the room. I was like, yeah, but I felt like a dog who was like being introduced to, because before that I didn't live anywhere for 6 years, lived nowhere.
Okay.
My stuff was in a storage unit.
Wow. Okay, but it's kind of amazing to know you, of course, but and realize you have so many friends because that's a good thing. That talks good about you. I mean, like you're not a piece of shit. It seems like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel lucky for the friends that I have. I had friends from when I first started out. The thing is, like, when I moved a lot, I don't have any friends from my childhood.
Right.
Okay, claro.
Just because we moved too much and it was pre-internet and just no way to keep in touch. So all my friends are from Philadelphia on.
Okay.
But it's like some of my best friends are people that I meet from being on the road,
And
Oh, that's cool.
that's actually really nice
Yeah.
because I don't know. Sometimes when I know you think you're not that famous, and maybe it's kind of true, but at the same time, like, people know Man. Some people know Man. So when you're starting to being recognized, it's not a problem to making friends. Like,
Oh, I don't get recognized. So no, it's not an issue.
well, yeah, but I mean, like, or maybe because maybe not recognized, but if you're that talented, sometimes you don't know if a friendship is honest.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, well, here's a cool story. I guess no, it's not really that cool, but I was getting some Thai food last year at this restaurant here in LA, and this guy's there with his wife and his two little kids, and he's like, he recognized me, which that never happens. So we talk a little bit, and it was nice. It was like, you know, it was cool. And then a year later, he hits me up, and he's an editor, and he works on, he worked on like The Master, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He's like a really interesting guy, but he was like, if you ever want me to edit anything, I was like, well, I have these VHS tapes. And so like I gave him all these tapes, and he was able to make them into digital for me. And he's a really sweet guy, and so now we're friends.
That's actually beautiful. That's a good thing about like being.
And some of my best friends are people that I met. Just like one of my best friends I met in Kentucky. He put the show on, and then there was something special about him. I was like, I want to be your friend. And then 10 years later, he lived with me in LA for a little bit.
Okay.
Dumb
question. You have.
No dumb questions. It's fine. Just a question.
Do you have like female friendships that it's just a friend? It's never involved, like, oh, we had sex one time and then we became friends.
No, of course. And it's actually kind of, it's problematic. It's been hard for me actually, because like, I have, like for example, my friend Madeline, she arranged all the strings on the record.
Okay. Wow.
And I've known her for maybe 11 years. She's from New Orleans, and I met her because she dated my brother's roommate,
Okay.
And she now lives in LA, and she's like awesome, and she has this all-female string quartet, and she's like brilliant.
Okay, you should.
My friend who sings on the record, Dre, she's awesome.
Why Rebecca Black? Why Rebecca Black in Hunters, maybe in Lonely Boys?
Oh yeah, she's in Lonely Boys and Hunters. Very, very little, but it was nice to have her.
Do you talk to her? Like, do you talk to her?
She went on tour with us twice.
Really? Oh, and
yeah, like last January. I think it was last January, not this one, but last year.
Oh.
It was either January or December, whatever. I saw her play accidentally. I was seeing someone else play, a friend, and then she also played. And I was like, wow, she sounds incredible. And so then we asked if she would go on tour, and I didn't think she would say yes, but she did. So she opened for us.
That's great. Nice. I mean, like, did you know about the whole Friday thing?
Yeah. But she was also 13 at the time, and I thought it was like, for me, I was like, I think it's shitty that the world like bullied her at 13.
It was horrible. I mean, I learned the whole song for starters to make it fun of, but then I realized I was 14 at the time, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Actually, the song is catchy, so I'm gonna.
I mean, the song's terrible.
It's terrible,
the thing, but she didn't write it, and it was like, but the thing about it was like she got bullied, and I thought it was very powerful to see. She's like 22 now.
Yeah.
And she's got a great voice, and she's sticking with it. She has an awesome voice and writes great pop songs, and I thought that was so cool. Like, and no one deserves to get bullied, and everyone deserves another chance in life.
Yeah.
And I thought, I mean, she's going to be extremely successful, and she is right now.
Her new project.
And I just thought it was great. Like, if we could bring her out, our fans would be into it. And I just think she's very inspirational.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually think she has a great story because she left all that shit behind her, and it was like 7 years ago, so it better be behind her. I don't know.
And I think she just came out, and she's a very, very strong in the LGBT community.
I didn't know that. Oh, well.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, and she is also beautiful, but that doesn't matter.
And she toured with us. She got in a van with like all these weird dudes, and she like toured with us for like 2 months or whatever.
Wow, and nothing happened. This is just chisme.
No, I mean she's a kid, So like, we're all like in our like 30s or like late 20s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's mostly everything. I wanted you to tell to the audience or whatever your where they can find you, your social media, and whatever you want to
Oh
say.
yeah. So new record came out in May. Great soundtrack for the pandemic. If you like Fiona Apple's new record, I think it's like its brother.
Okay, okay, yeah, I'm.
The new album's called Dream Hunting in the Valley of the In-Between. It's on Sub Pop. My Instagram is at Honus Honus, HUNUS. I'm starting a Patreon on Monday, August 3rd. It's my birthday.
Oh, my birthday.
Happy birthday!
I'm a triple.
In advance.
Oh, thanks. I'm a triple Leo, whatever the fuck that means, but it scares people.
I don't know
what it
about.
But anyway, I'm launching a Patreon, and the Patreon, I'm gonna put up like old demos. You can watch like the documentary, short films, like behind the scenes stuff. It's just like I want to connect with people, so it seems like the best way to do it.
Yeah,
And that'll be under Man. Yeah, that's all.
perfect. Espero que hayan disfrutado de esta entrevista y que no se olviden por favor de seguir a Honus en sus redes como @Honus Honus o a Man como @ManBand, o sea, @hombre banda. Y también, por favor, vayan si pueden, sean parte del Patreon de Man porque se merecen su amor y su dinero. Y como les recuerdo, para seguir todo lo que está pasando con respecto a la Excusa podcast, vayan y síganme en mis redes como @Verocítrica. Hasta luego, besitos.